If you've ever wanted to live in Thailand long term, this video might be for you. My name is Kat and I've lived in Chiang Mai for 5 years since 2019. And in this video, I'm going to walk through the cost of living and my basic expenses for rent, bills, utilities, and food. And before I go into the different costs of things, I do want to preface, I'm 31, I don't have kids, I don't have pets, I don't own a car here, and I don't have any major medical or health expenses that are needed. And so it's just something to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out your budget for living here long term. Another thing to keep in mind is that this is going to be completely dependent on your lifestyle and the budget that you have. I've been living here long term, and so this is my home, and so that's very different than someone who's just coming here for 2 weeks. So let's start with rent. I'm currently paying $311. I live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 52 square meters condo, fully serviced condo with a pool and a gym. I also have a view of the mountains. You can probably see the reflection in the mirror. And so from my place to, let's say, Niman, which is a really popular tourist area, it's about a 5-minute drive. If you want to go to Old City, which is another popular area in Chiang Mai, it's about a 10-minute drive. And this rent does not include electricity, Wi-Fi, water, and all of those things. It's just rent alone. So bills. This covers quite a few different areas, so I'm going to try and break this down separately. So Wi-Fi, I'm paying $17 per month. I have 3BB as the provider. When I moved into my condo, they came in and installed it for me. And monthly, I pay via an app. For my cell phone bill, I pay $12 per month. My provider is AIS, and I pay this through the mobile application. My electricity for the month is usually around $55 US. It can be a little higher or a little less. Usually around May, it starts to get really hot. Now it's kind of, the rain has started, so it's kind of cooled down a bit, but I've been using my AC all day long, and so obviously my bill is going to be a little higher. And my water bill for the month is around $3 more or less. I also get water delivery, so I get 24 glass bottles delivered to my door, either twice a week. It depends how often you need it. I usually get it once a week. And that's $3. So for transportation, I own my own motorbike, and so it's a little different for someone who's using, let's say, Grab, which is our ride service here. So for my motorbike, I pay around $3 or $4 each time I need to get petrol, and that's maybe twice a month or 3 times a month, depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing that month. And when it's raining, which it has been quite a lot lately, I take Grab, which is similar to Uber for those of you who are in the States and are familiar with the Uber app. I use Grab, and that's usually around $4 one way, more or less, depending on where I'm going in the city. So let's say, I do it twice a week. That's around $8 or $16 more or less, again, depending on how far I'm going. So health insurance is the last big bill I have. I'm currently paying $115 per month. I'm currently covered by a French company called ACS, and I actually got that set up through an agent here. And this health insurance coverage is mostly for outpatient and emergency care. The cost of general checkups, general tests, picking up medicine at the pharmacy is pretty affordable here, so I pay that out of pocket. But I do have this coverage for emergency care and if there's any long-term outpatient care that I need. And so food is the last major category, but probably the most important to me. I currently spend around $400 to $500 US per month on food here. And let me explain why it's so high compared to my rent. So I eat mostly Western meals, so Western restaurants, Italian restaurants, Indian restaurants, you name it. And so that's why the cost is so high. I also eat out every single meal. I try and cook breakfast at home sometimes, smoothies or little things, but the majority of the time for me, because I'm single, I live alone, it's easier for me to go out and just buy food. I also work almost every day at cafes on my laptop, and so that's, tea, coffee, snacks at the cafe as well. And so you can definitely pay much less for food here, but again, I don't usually go grocery shopping, and if I do, I get very little, things that I can just do at home for a quick breakfast. But the majority of my meals, like I said, are out at restaurants and mostly at Western restaurants. So in total, including my rent, basic utilities, and food, I'm paying around $951 per month. Again, this can really vary depending on your lifestyle and your budget, but this is the very basic living expenses that I have. This doesn't include other things like investments or taxes, but I hope this gives a general idea of how much I'm paying as an expat who has lived here for 5 years. And the cost of rent can also depend where in the city you want to live, so you can obviously spend more if you want a bigger place. You can spend a lot less as well. If you want to live closer to the touristy areas, that's going to be a little more expensive. Or if you want to live away from the hustle and bustle of the city and you want to live in nature, that's going to obviously change the cost of rent as well. So I hope that was helpful for those who are looking to live in Thailand long term, to give you a general idea of the cost of living for someone who's been here for 5 years. If you have any other specific questions about different costs, go ahead and drop them in the comments and I can try and create an updated video with that in the future. Don't forget to subscribe and like and turn on your notifications for this channel so that when I have more updated videos on life in Chiang Mai as an expat, you get those notifications. And I'll see you next time.